If a man's whole life practically revolves around his mother, it is going to be clear that he has a number of beliefs that are not serving him. Most likely, these will be beliefs that are just outside of his conscious awareness. As a result of this, he won't realize that what he believes is having a big impact on his life. It can be as though the life he leads is just the way life is, and there is very little that he can do about it. Then again, he might not even think about how unfulfilling his life is, and both consciously and unconsciously do what he can to ignore what is taking place inside him. Thanks to this, the feedback that is inside him, that is there to let him know that he is living in the wrong way, will be overlooked. It can be normal for him to feel low, and he could even suffer from depression. But as he is not willing to face up to what is really going on, what is going on for him could be put down to something else, such as him being born this way or suffering from a chemical imbalance, for instance. However, if he was able to mentally detach from how he experiences life and reflect on what he believes, he could soon find that he is carrying a number of beliefs that are totally irrational. For one thing, he could see that he believes that his mother's life is more important than his own. It is then going to make sense as to why he is so focused on her and neglects himself. Still, although he will see that this is something that he believes, he could see this as being more than just a belief. If he was to just think about living his own life, and his mother being of secondary importance, he could end up feeling very uncomfortable. This could be a time when he will experience a fair amount of fear and anxiety. It will be as though something bad is about to happen, and that his life will come to an end. Thus, putting himself first is not going to be seen as something that is positive. It will be seen as something that will put his very survival at risk. With this in mind, it wouldn't be right to say that his life is the way that it is, purely because of what he believes. In addition to this, there will be something else that is helping to keep what he believes in place. If it wasn't for what was taking place further down, he would be able to gradually see through what he believes and change his life. At this point, he could wonder why his life is the way that it is. In all likelihood, his early years were a time when he was deprived of the nutrients that he needed to go through each developmental stage. It probably didn't occur to his mother that he was a separate being, with his own needs, feelings, wants, and preferences. Consequently, he would have been used to meet some of her adult and unmet developmental needs. If he was in touch with his true self when he was born, he would have soon lost touch with it and automatically created a disconnected false self. At first, he is likely to have expressed his needs, but as time passed, he would have soon given up and lost touch with them. Expressing his needs is likely to have resulted in him being punished and disapproved of, and rejected and abandoned, and this probably took place anyway. Being needless and doing what he could to meet his mother's needs was the way for him to survive. Being deprived of what he needed would have caused him to experience a lot of pain that would have ended up being automatically repressed by his brain. His experiences would have taught him that his mother's needs, along with her life, were what mattered. As for his needs, if he was not even aware of them then, he wouldn't have thought about how they were not important. Therefore, he is likely to have unconsciously come to believe that his needs were not important. Ultimately, his mother was at the center and he, and perhaps others, was on the periphery. If his father was around during this period of his life, he may have also run around his mother. Seeing his father behaving in this way and neglecting himself would have also sent the message that his mother was more important than anyone else. His father, someone who was an adult and not a child, was then not in his power, and was then unable to be a healthy role model to his son. What his father would have done is made his mother seem more powerful than she actually was. After having year after year of being deprived of what he needed, he is going to be carrying a lot of pain. Working through this pain, along with the developmental needs that go with it, is not going to happen overnight. This will require courage and patience and persistence. Yet, by engaging in this process, he will truly be able to put the past behind him, and the beliefs that he formed will also start to fall away. So maybe you're a man and you can relate to this. You can see that you believe that your mother's needs and her life are more important than your own needs and your own life. And this will most likely be a belief, or these beliefs will most likely have been formed during your early years, during a stage of your life when your mother was essential to your survival. Without her, you would have probably died. During this stage of your life, you were powerless and totally dependent, so you would have done anything that you could to please your mother, to try to make her meet your needs. And as she was not available, then you had to lose touch with yourself to create a false self and to focus on her. But now that you are an adult, you no longer need your mother to be able to survive, and your needs back then were more important than hers and her life, because you needed to receive the right nutrients in order to grow and develop. And now that you are an adult, your needs and your life are what matter. So please don't neglect yourself, don't abandon yourself anymore, and do what you need to do to gradually transform your life. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.